Precisely 1:15 p.m. is the time. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Chandima Veerakorn. Headlines: Sri Lanka to establish Children of Gaza Fund to aid victims of violence. Pakistan-Sri Lankan envoys in Belgium discuss matters of mutual interest. A survey reveals that half of the issued public service telephone numbers inactive or unreachable. A cabinet paper has been presented to purchase paddy for the Maha season. Cabinet approval has been received to the proposal to provide loans to the small and medium-scale entrepreneurs under the concessionary interest rates. In foreign news, human remains found in search for missing Sydney couple. Local stories in detail. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved a proposal seeking to create a Children of Gaza Fund in aid of the victims of violence in the war-torn Palestinian enclave. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has tabled the proposal at the Cabinet meeting held yesterday, according to the President's media division. Meanwhile, all ministries and state institutions have been instructed to forego iftar celebrations and contribute to this fund. The Sri Lankan government's donation of $1 million will be distributed through official UN agencies to aid affected children. Pakistan ambassador to the European Union, Belgium and Luxembourg, Amna Balok, and Sri Lankan ambassador to Belgium and the EU, Chandana Veerasena, yesterday discussed matters of mutual interest. Ambassador Anna hosted the Sri Lankan envoy for a courtesy meeting at the Pakistani embassy in Belgium, where they both expressed their commitment to strengthening bilateral cooperation between Pakistan and Sri Lanka within the framework of the European Union. The Pakistan embassy shared details of the meeting on X, saying that both sides addressed to enhance bilateral cooperation. Nearly half of the telephone numbers provided to public service officials are inactive and unreachable, a survey conducted by the Peradeniya University Economics and Statistics Department has revealed. According to them, the survey was conducted across the country, covering the telephone numbers posted on the website of the Regional Secretariat Office of Grama-Niladhari officials, Samudi Development Officers and Development Officers who perform their duties in each divisional secretariat of the country. It has been considered whether the particular numbers given are in use and whether the numbers respond when dialed and provides answers. Accordingly, a total of 589 telephone numbers were surveyed and 286 of them were found to be inactive. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with the local stories, a program has been implemented by the Ministry of Finance to purchase paddy for the Maha season this year. The Ministry of Agriculture has forwarded a cabinet paper to provide 2 billion rupees to the Farmer Trustee Fund in this regard. Meanwhile, the Finance Ministry has taken measures to provide loans up to 50 million rupees at concessionary interest loans to the small and medium-scale paddy mill owners. Cabinet approval has been received to the proposal to provide loans to the small and medium-scale entrepreneurs under the concessionary interest rates. 20 billion rupees has been provided by the Asian Development Bank in this regard. Accordingly, these loans can be obtained from the licensed financial institutes and from the commercial banks. This program will be implemented to uplift the small and medium-scale entrepreneurs who have been affected due to the economic crisis and the COVID pandemic. Romanian Ambassador Dona Steluța Aca has called on Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at the Temple Trees yesterday. Prime Minister Gunawardena and the Romanian envoy discussed the long-standing bilateral relations between the two countries and the steps to be taken to enter into economic cooperation and investment in new spheres. The Prime Minister urged Romania to consider investments and cooperation in education, agriculture, railways, IT, cybersecurity and tourism sectors. To conclude the local news, the headlines again. Sri Lanka to establish Children of Gaza Fund to aid victims of violence. Pakistan Sri Lankan envoy in Belgium discuss matters of mutual interest. A survey reveals that half of issued public service telephone numbers inactive or unreachable. A cabinet paper has been presented to purchase paddy for the Maha season. Cabinet approval has been received to the proposal to provide loans to the small and medium-scale entrepreneurs under the concessionary interest rates. That concludes the local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
And on the main news story, it has been reported that the fuel prices are likely to be reduced in future. According to the price formula, the 4% discount will be given to the people. Currently, the debt that has to be paid by the Petroleum Corporation has already been paid. Therefore, the government hopes to provide this concession to the people. That came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Taking a look at Watchlight, the All Ceylon Nurses Association raised concerns today reporting the departure of 2,528 nurses from the profession in the past 2 years. The All Ceylon Nurses Association chairman Ravindra Kahandava Arachi warned of the severe crisis looming in the healthcare sector due to this exodus. That was Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Headlines of the world news. Human remains found in search for missing Sydney couple. Missing US couple on hijacked boat feared killed. Macron says Russian defeat in Ukraine vital for security in Europe. Australian police say 2 bodies have been found during the search for missing Sydney couple Jessie Baird and Luke Davis. We are very confident that we have located Luke and Jessie, NSW Police Commissioner Karen Webb said. Beaumont Lamare Condon, a police officer who once dated Mr. Baird, was charged with allegedly murdering the pair last week. The bodies were discovered on a rural property in the town of Bungonia. Police said that after days of refusing to cooperate with the investigation, Mr. Lamar Condon finally disclosed where the 2 bodies were located this morning. A U.S. couple whose boat was hijacked in the Caribbean last week are presumed to have died after being thrown into the sea, according to police in Grenada. Ralph Henry, 66, and Kathy Brandel, 71, both pensioners, have been missing since their catamaran was taken by 3 men on 19th of February. Police believe the suspects who escaped from jail the day before were attempting to head to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. All 3 have been found and arrested. French President Emmanuel Macron has said it is key for Europe's security to defeat Russia in Ukraine amidst urgent pleas for more weapons from Kyiv. He was speaking in Paris, where he said the European leaders had agreed to set up a coalition to give Ukraine medium and long-range missiles and bombs. He added that there was no consensus on sending Western troops to Ukraine, but nothing should be excluded. Russian troops made recent gains in Ukraine, which faces big arms shortages. And to conclude the world news, the headlines again. Human remains found in search for missing Sydney couple. Missing US couple on hijacked boat feared killed. Macron says Russian defeat in Ukraine vital for security in Europe. That came to you in the world news. We continue with the development news. 400 million rupees has been allocated to implement the development projects in the Galle district under the Kandukara Dasakaya program. Accordingly, the development projects are to be implemented in Nelluva, Tavalama, Nagoda and Niyagama divisional secretariat areas in the district. That came to you in development news.
Moving on with sports news.
And in sports news, New Zealand fast bowler Neil Wagner has announced his retirement from international cricket, bringing down the curtains on a 12-year-old Test career, during which he played 64 Tests for the Black Caps and won the inaugural World Test Championship. Wagner, 37, made the decision after he was informed that he would not be part of the 11 in the Test series against Australia, starting in Wellington on Thursday. That came to you in sports news.
Go ekakthiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka's High Commissioner in the United Kingdom, Rohitha Bogalagama, and the Board of Investment Chairman Dinesh Veerakkadi last week met several potential investors to discuss several business opportunities, and also with senior officials of the Standard Chartered Bank UK and Virtusa Corporation at the Sri Lanka High Commission in London. That came to you in Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekakthiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
And on the economic news, a program to cultivate interim crops in 50 hectares of lands in Kagalla, Gampaha, Kurunagala, Kandy, Matale and Anuradhapura districts has begun. This program was initiated by the Kagalla Regional Office of the Rubber Development Department. That was economic news.
Weather report.
And finally, we take a look at the weather report. Showers will occur at times in Nuwara Eliya, Matale and Polonnaruwa districts. Several spells of showers will occur in eastern and Uva provinces and in Anuradhapura district. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the western and Sabragamu provinces and in Kandy, Gaul and Mathura districts in the evening or at night. Fairly strong winds, about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times in eastern slopes of the central hills and in northern, north-central, northwestern, southern, Uva and eastern provinces. That came to you in the weather report. And to conclude this bulletin of news, the headlines again. Sri Lanka to establish Children of Gaza Fund to aid victims of violence. Pakistan, Sri Lankan envoys in Belgium discuss matters of mutual interest. A survey reveals that half of issued public service telephone numbers inactive or unreachable. A cabinet paper has been presented to purchase paddy for the Maha season. Cabinet approval has been received to the proposal to provide loans to the small and medium-scale entrepreneurs under the concessionary interest rates. And in news overseas, human remains are found in search for missing Sydney couple. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. With the time reading 29 minutes down 1, I hand over to my friend and colleague Victor Raj to keep you entertained. Over to you, Victor.